好，咁啊，我叫 Tom 啦，咁啊，其中一位 IDP 嘅counselor，咁啊，都好快同大家講翻今日嘅澳洲升學出發前講座啦。咁今日嘅內容咧，會包括一啲澳洲文化或者生活習慣啊、入境檢疫須知啊、住宿內容啊、生活資訊啊、學生簽證條例，同埋仲會有我哋今日 IDP 澳洲嘅當地嘅 office 嘅同事咧，都會講解翻多少少我哋喺 onshore 之後 IDP 可以提供俾學生嘅一啲體驗同埋一啲服務嘅。咁最後當然都會有我哋嘅問答環節啦。咁啊，首先澳洲生活啦，咁其實如果大家有了解過，其實都知道東岸嘅話，其實咧會快香港2至3小時不等嘅。咁啊，如果西澳嘅話就會冇時差啦。咁都要留意翻我哋一個叫做夏令時間或者冬令時間嘅分別啊。咁啊，可能要校翻個時鐘嘅一個個時數啦。咁啊，電壓嚟講，澳洲嘅電壓咧其實係240 W 嘅。咁香港個電壓有少少唔同啦。咁睇下會唔會需要加翻一個變換器。咁唔係所有電器都需要嘅。咁但係睇翻你哋用啲咩電器啦。咁其實一個變換器啊，或者係一啲個變插咧，澳洲都有得賣嘅。但係相對上會比較貴啲，咁建議喺香港買定先啦。咁啊，同埋都帶定一個香港嘅拖板過去啦。咁因為其實好多香港嘅電器你都會喺嗰邊會用到，譬如一啲電腦啊，或者係一啲叉電器啊，諸如此類嘅嘢，可能都係香港帶過去嘅。咁另外嗰個轉插咧，其實好多學生咧而家會用開一啲多國可以用得嗰啲咧，個相對上比較大個嘅。咁但係如果你見到澳洲，其實相對上佢哋嘅插頭咧係下邊呢個位咧係可能會比較細個少少。咁啊，準備嗰啲當然冇問題。咁但係同時亦都準備一啲可能細個少少嘅轉插器。咁相對上唔會阻到佢拍翻嗰個電掣啊，或者係如果你太大個插咗一邊，另外一個未必插到咁樣樣咯。好，咁講翻啲入境須知先啦，尤其是而家呢個情況底下咧，可能有多少文件或者多少動作咧，同學仔係需要做得到嘅。咁啊，其實包括佢有啲咩清單係要帶咧，包括簽證啦、疫苗接種嘅一個證明啦，每個省份或者領地其實入境嘅要求可能有少少唔同嘅。出發之前亦都要做翻一個檢測，咁啊，同埋去填寫翻一個Australian Travel Declaration 啦。咁現時嚟講啦，咁其實喺12月15號開始咧，咁澳洲係開放翻一啲特定簽證持有人可以入翻過去澳洲嘅。咁啊，如果最關學生事嘅，咁會包括啲乜嘢咧？包括可能學生簽證啦，Subclass 500啦，Student Guardian 啦，包括580或者590 Visa 嘅同學仔都會有嘅。咁啊，疫苗接種證明上邊，咁其實需要有啲咩咧？咁必須要有英文啦。咁啊，另外就係全名啦、出生嘅日期或者係護照 number 啦。咁啊，打嘅疫苗嘅一個名稱啦，以及佢哋打嘅劑量嘅日期同埋完成成個療程嘅日期係幾時啦。咁無論係一個 paper form 或者係一個 online soft copy 嘅 version 都可以接受嘅。好，咁啊，疫苗接種記錄嚟講，咁其實而家可能有譬如智方便嘅一個更新嘅電子版接種疫苗記錄啦。咁啊，另外如果話有啲同學仔本身嘅疫苗接種記錄係冇佢哋嘅出生年月日喺上邊嘅，咁可能需要喺佢哋臨出發之前2個禮拜內攜帶翻佢哋嘅身份證明文件，以及佢哋嘅機票等等嘅出行證明咧，去翻佢哋以下嘅一啲地點去領取翻嘅。咁其實都係佢哋自己本身嘅一個接種疫苗啦。咁如果你係本身私家診所或者係醫院管理局去嘅普通門診診所去接種嘅話咧，就要去翻佢哋嗰度去攞翻相關嘅一啲疫苗記錄啦。咁如果未能夠親身領取一個更新版嘅疫苗接種記錄嘅人士咧，都可以授權他人去領取嘅。咁但係咧，咁必須要出示翻本人嘅身份證明文件正本啦，同埋一個有效嘅授權書。咁要去翻佢哋嘅 website 去 download 翻嘅。咁並且都要帶翻疫苗接種者嘅一個身份證明文件副本啦，同埋佢哋嘅一個疫苗接種記錄嘅副本嘅。咁出發前嘅檢測咧，咁啊喺邊度做咧？咁啊，其實學生係需要喺預訂出發前去澳洲 嘅3日內啦，去進行一個 PCR 嘅檢測嘅，並取得一個陰性嘅叫做證據啦，咁樣樣。咁有邊啲診所係可以獲得認可嘅咧？咁其實可以睇翻佢哋個website 啦。咁基本上就係一啲本地嘅醫療檢測機構啦，或者係社區檢測中心都 OK 嘅。咁分翻開唔同嘅省份都有唔同嘅一啲叫做要求啦。咁啊，首先就係澳洲首都領地啦。咁而家佢哋目前嚟講咧，打齊2針嘅一個比例咧，已經去到超過95%㗎啦。咁所以其實相對上咧，佢哋個要求會寬鬆少少嘅。咁無論貨國際或者國內抵達去到澳洲首都領地呢個地方嘅咧，必須要喺抵達 ACT 即係澳洲首都領地之前24小時內完成一個在線即係 online 嘅申報表，咁並且去前往佢哋喺 ACT 境內嘅一個住宿啦，完成佢哋為期3日嘅 quarantine。咁必須要喺抵達澳洲後24小時內完成一個COVID test 啦。咁啊，並且喺第6日嘅時間再進行多一次 COVID 嘅檢測。咁而新南威爾斯咧，咁佢而家目前接種2劑疫苗嘅一個比例咧，去到93.4%啦。咁如果國際航班直接抵達新南威爾斯省嘅話咧，必須要喺抵達後24小時內進行一個 COVID 嘅 PCR 檢測。咁佢哋都要進行一個72小時嘅隔離期嘅。咁但係其實從12月21號起咧，咁已經係唔再需要隔離嘅時間㗎啦。咁佢哋喺21號起，佢哋需要做啲咩咧？咁佢哋都要喺抵達後24小時內要去做翻個 COVID 嘅 PCR test 啦。咁並且喺取得佢哋嘅陰性結果之前咧，都要在家中隔離嘅。咁並且咧喺第6日抵達新南威爾斯州後嘅第6日進行多一次一個 PCR test。咁而 Pilot Program 其實都係同步都會繼續進行緊嘅，暫時都係每2週250名學生啦。咁到維多利亞省嘅安排又係點樣樣咧？維多利亞省咧，其實暫時嘅接種比例咧去到92.1%嘅。咁其實同呢個新南威爾斯省嘅做法咧相類似啦。咁其實要喺抵達墨爾本之前，要完成咗一個維多利亞州嘅檢疫抵達表格，都係 online 填寫嘅。咁並且喺抵達後24小時內完成一個 COVID 嘅 PCR test。然之後而家暫時咧，仲要做翻一個72小時嘅居家隔離，但係同樣地，由12月21號起，唔需要呢一個隔離噶啦。咁並且咧，要喺抵達後第5至第7天進行翻多一次嘅 COVID-19 嘅 PCR test。咁喺COVID 嘅情況之下啦，其實都鼓勵翻各位學生去 keep 翻一個社區嘅 distance 啦。咁並且係保持住一個良好嘅衞生習慣啦。咁啊，如果有啲咩任何關於 COVID 嘅症狀，覺得自己有嘅，咁啊，盡快進行檢測並尋求協助啦。咁通常嚟講咧，for 翻新過去嘅學生有啲咩要帶嘅咧？咁可以好快睇一睇呢個片段啦，可以做一個初步嘅了解。好，咁真係入 到境內即係其實入境前啦，同學都必須要完成一個叫入境旅客卡嘅。咁可能之前有去過澳洲嘅朋友或者同學仔會知道呢一張卡係乜嘢嚟啦。咁需要填寫翻一啲同學仔嘅個人資料啦，例如名啊、passport number 啊、一個航班嘅 number 啊、喺澳洲嘅地址啊，諸如此類嘅嘢。咁同時間亦都要進行一啲申報嘅。咁睇翻其實同學仔會唔會嘅行李裏邊包括一啲可能需要申報嘅物件啦。咁如果話真係唔係好肯定嘅，咁可能都 tick 翻 yes 會比較好嘅。咁以免到時候你 tick 咗 no，但係佢 check 到有嘅時候咧，就可能有罰款嘅一個情況會發生啦。咁就有唔同嘅語言嘅 version 嘅。咁其實通常嚟講學生我諗英文都 OK 嘅，因為其實中文咧係有限嘅。咁所以其實如果可以嘅填翻英文嗰個都 OK 噶啦。咁點樣去申報咧？或者係有啲咩要申報咧？咁其實以往嚟講啦，好耐以前咧，其實所有食物嗰啲嘢嘅傳統觀念咧係唔帶得入澳洲嘅。咁但係而家嚟講啦，如果你話要帶朱古力啊、公仔麵啊嗰啲，其實都 OK 嘅。咁但係睇下有冇咁嘅必須要去帶呢啲物品去入去啦。咁其實有兩條通道去通過入境呢一個道路嘅。咁其實有一邊咧就係要申報物品嘅嗰條通道啦。咁另外一邊咧就係你自己 declare 唔需要申報任何嘢嘅一個通道啦。咁佢哋可能亦都會抽查一啲同學仔去翻要 check 翻行李啊諸如此類嗰啲嘢嘅。咁有啲咩係唔可以帶或者係要申報嘅物品呢？咁如果你話如果擁有10000蚊澳幣等值或以上嘅現金，咁就要申報啦。咁或者係一啲藥物需要申報啦，動物產品、植物材料其實都要申報嘅。咁但係其實都唔係好建議帶一啲動物產品或者植物材料噶啦。其實大部分都未必真係可以入到去嘅。咁一啲蛋製品啊、非罐裝嘅肉類啊、生勾勾嘅動物或者植物啊，全部都唔得啦。咁草藥或者傳統藥物都未必得噶啦。咁如果你話真係要帶啲成藥，其實都 OK 嘅。咁但係成盒帶啦，咁最好一定要有一個英文嘅解釋啦。咁如果佢真係 check 到嘅，其實佢都可以睇翻包裝上面嘅英文説明，去了解翻其實係乜嘢嚟嘅，有啲咩成分、作用係啲乜嘢等等。咁如果你話有啲係醫生處方開藥嘅嗰啲點樣樣咧，咁叫醫生出翻封醫生信，講翻其實入邊嘅藥物嘅成分係啲乜嘢啦，作用係啲乜嘢啦。咁其實就會比較容易啲去同翻佢哋嗰邊嘅入境人員去解釋翻，咁佢哋會了解翻呢一樣嘢咯。咁同埋都建議同學仔喺臨出發之前啦，如果有做開運動、行開山去或者去露營嗰啲等如此類推啦，清潔翻自己嘅鞋啊或者運動設備等等嘅嘢啦。咁因為泥土等等咧，其實都唔建議會帶咗入去嘅。咁其實呢啲洗一洗佢啦。咁呢啲，咁如果話真係俾人發現攜帶一啲未申報嘅物品、違禁品或者受限嘅物品咧，會受到罰款或者甚至乎受到起訴嘅。咁其實你親身帶嘅嘢帶唔到入去嘅同時咧，其實寄嘢都寄唔到入去噶啦。咁呢個都可以話翻俾親朋戚友知道啦。咁個人免稅額呢一樣嘢，咁其實咧，個人免稅額咧就900蚊嘅。咁但係其實如果你話自己嘅個人物品咧係唔計算在內嘅。咁除非你話我帶5部電話、10部電腦諸如此類，呢啲必須會計落去啦。咁但係如果你話我自己個人用嘅1部電話、1部電腦，好正常嘅啫。咁抵達澳洲之後咧，其實都建議盡快通知翻父母啦或者親友啦。咁尤其是而家 COVID 嘅情況之下，咁建議其實都會自己帶翻一個手提電話啦。咁你可以開漫遊嘅，即係其實我哋都會有一個 SIM 卡嘅 service 可以俾翻同學仔嘅。咁可以用翻我哋提供嘅 SIM 卡啦。咁其實已經可以好方便咁通知翻父母或者親友已經安全咁抵達咗澳洲噶啦。咁如果有同學仔係會安排翻機場接送嘅，確保自己會帶翻機場接送嗰封確認信。咁確認信上面應該會有一個緊急聯絡電話可以聯絡得到嘅。 咁其實到埗之後咧，其實都應該要申請翻一個叫 Tax File Number，簡稱叫 TFN 嘅一個物體啦。咁其實呢個係網上申請居多噶啦。咁相對上個流程簡單嘅啫。咁呢個係幫你做啲乜嘢嘅咧？喺你申請 Tax File Number 之前咧，其實你無論係一個 bank account 諸如此類嗰啲嘢都好，都照當你收稅㗎。佢唔會 confirm 得到你係學生諸如此類嗰啲嘢，個 system auto 嘅。咁當你係交咗一個 Tax File Number 入去之後咧，其實佢就會確認翻你係學生嘅身份啦，將之前收咗嘅稅款咧都會退翻俾同學仔嘅。講到銀行戶口呢一樣嘢啦，咁其實點樣去開設戶口嘅咧？咁其實通常嚟講咧，抵達澳洲後6個星期咧開設戶口嘅。需要嘅文件包括一啲護照啦、學生簽證啦、學生證啦，或者院校取錄信啦、澳洲嘅住址電話等等啦。咁其實我哋咧已經會有一個service 係幫學生喺出發之前啦，已經可以開到一個澳洲嘅student bank account 噶啦。咁而我哋有connection 嗰間銀行咧就叫 Commonwealth Bank，咁亦都係其中一間澳洲最大型啦、最多 ATM 嘅銀行啦。咁最早可以喺出發之前3個月內去開啟翻一個學生戶口。咁當然而家開嘅係一個網上銀行戶口先嘅，咁要去到埗用翻一啲身份證明文件同埋銀行出嗰封信去攞翻嗰張卡，之後先可以用翻入邊嘅金錢啦。咁同時亦都會講到我哋嘅海外學生醫療保險啦。咁其實呢一個Overseas Student Health Cover 咧，其實係所有海外留學生都必須要購買嘅。咁大部分學生可能都會透過學校去購買啦，而學校有一個自己指定嘅一個insurance provider 嘅。通常喺迎新嘅時間，即係 orientation 嘅時間咧，都會派發翻嗰一張OSHC 嘅 member card 嘅。咁上面有你嘅全名啦、你個 policy number 啦，同埋你嘅 policy 嘅start date end dates 嗰啲嘢都會有啦。咁喺學校附近啦，通常亦都會已經有一啲學生嘅醫療中心或者已經有藥房噶啦。咁通常呢個 OSHC 咧會包啲咩咧？門診咧，一般嘅睇醫生 service 啦、緊急用途 call 白車啦、急症服務啦、住院服務等等都會有。留意翻啦，澳洲其實醫藥分家嘅，佢 cover 嘅部分通常醫嗰邊都 cover 晒㗎啦，但係藥嗰邊咧未必嘅。佢可能去到一個特定嘅金額以上嘅，佢先會 cover 翻你一部分。例如大概45蚊左右呢啲位置啦。通常你如果話我真係普通頭暈身㷫要服藥嗰啲金額咧，未必需要咁貴嘅。你當嗰啲未必會包。通常牙醫、眼科、物理治療、脊醫等等，其實嗰啲都唔會包噶啦。詳細內容可以睇翻個保單個 cover 個 policy 啦，或者係問翻學校啦，都 OK 嘅。而家嚟講咧，申請報銷咧，其實通常都係網上進行噶啦，比較少再好似以前咁去填寫翻一份claim form 係 physical form 咁樣樣噶啦。所以其實好方便地用email 嘅方式啦，或者係用網上嘅方式啦，或者甚至乎用 app 嘅形式咧，可以做到呢個claim 嘅步驟噶啦。好，如果有啲同學仔係讀一啲醫療學科相關或者健康科學相關嘅學生咧，因為由於佢哋係要做 placement 嘅，佢哋可能有多少少嘢要做嘅。如果佢哋真係要嘅，佢哋包括啲咩咧？一啲 international 或者 national 嘅police check 啦。work with children check 啦，或者係一啲免疫嘅針打齊晒未咧，諸如此類嘅嘢，佢哋會有個 list 嘅。學校都會俾咗你之後，你可以同翻你自己家庭醫生去 check 翻啦。其實自己有邊啲針係未打咧，會去到有效去到幾時咧，諸如此類嘅嘢。通常呢啲咧係需要喺你個 placement之前去申請得到就 OK 噶啦。未必一定全部都要喺香港就做晒呢啲嘢嘅。但係都 check 翻其實學校需要你幾時去攞得到相關嘅文件咧。呢啲可以再 check 翻詳情，可以問翻個別嘅輔導員去了解翻個詳情啦。 咁講到住宿嗰方面啦，咁住宿其實一般有3種選擇嘅。第一種就會學校住宿啦，咁包括有 on campus 嘅學校住宿，亦都有 off campus 嘅一啲學生宿舍啦。咁通常嚟講咧，相對上就比較自由嘅。咁啊，好多唔同嘅文化背景嘅學生啊，或者甚至乎如果你住 off campus，唔同學校嘅學生都會有喺同一間accommodation 入邊會住得到啦。咁一般嚟講咧，佢哋可能係 share 嘅 kitchen 啦，或者 share 嘅一啲living room 啦嗰啲位啦。咁啊自己有自己房嘅。咁廁所嚟講就睇翻你嗰間係一間 ensuite 啊，定係一個 share bathroom 啦。係啦，咁啊通常呢啲 accommodation 都會包括一啲其他嘅設施咧，包括laundry room 啊，包括 gym 啊等等嘅設備都可能會有嘅。咁第二種咧就係寄宿家庭啦。咁呢種咧主要就係澳洲會有一個當地嘅 family 去照顧翻同學仔啦。咁通常都會包埋伙食嘅。咁啊可以練習翻英文啦，因為必須你日常生活都要用英文同佢哋溝通啦。咁或者係了解翻佢哋澳洲嘅生活習慣啊、一啲文化啊等等嘅嘢嘅。咁必須要同大家講，咁你住得人哋屋企，其實都要跟翻人哋屋企嘅一啲生活習慣或者規矩啦。咁有義務去幫翻佢哋嘅一啲打掃啊，或者係屋企嘅一啲責任啊，要分擔翻嘅。咁最後就係一啲自己嘅租住嘅單位啦，private rental 咁樣樣啦。長遠嚟講可能係平啲嘅，咁但係一開頭未必太建議學生，我第一年過到去，我即刻自己租屋啦咁樣樣。咁一嚟人生路不熟，咁未必好熟習，我應該租啲咩屋？個 location 應該喺邊度？住處你未必好習慣嘅。咁同埋你需要係去睇樓先至會決定到去租邊度噶嘛。咁而家呢個情況嚟講，好難去就咁單憑一啲相片去決定我租住邊一個地方嘅。咁啊，相對上，如果到步咗，可能完咗第一年或者完咗後半年之後，識咗啲同學仔一齊出去租屋住，會係比較好嘅選擇嚟嘅。咁但係留意翻啦，咁因為如果自己租屋嘅話，需要留意嘅地方比較多少少嘅。咁包括其實本身呢個 contract 係幾長啦，咁另外佢包唔包一啲水電啊或者 utility 嘅嘢啦，咁同埋佢本身係咪有家私，你需唔需要自己再買家私等等嘅嘢都需要留意翻嘅。咁喺生活資訊嗰度啦，咁首先電話啦，咁啊比較少同學仔會用固網電話噶啦。咁如果真係要用到嘅，咁都係按月費咁樣去做嘅。咁如果話local call 嘅話咧，就按次數收費啦。長途電話嘅話，或者係省與省之間嘅電話嘅話咧，就會按時間收費嘅。咁流動電話嘅話咧，咁其實通常我哋都會推薦學生咧去選擇一啲 prepaid 嘅 SIM 卡啦。咁包括我哋自己本身都有補翻一張 SIM 卡俾學生啦。咁呢個睇翻學生自己需要。咁因為其實如果話呢啲 prepaid 嘅，通常都冇合約嘅，咁相對上會比較 flexible 多少少。因為始終學生我有中間成 break 嘅時間，可能唔喺澳洲，可能翻香港，或者係我暑假嘅時間都有2、3個月嘅時間，可能會離開澳洲嘅喎。咁我如果 contract 嘅話，相對上就會比較流動性未必太大啦呢度。咁啊 prepaid 嘅話，其實都有唔同嘅面值嘅。咁啊睇翻學生嘅需要啦。咁啊 prepaid 嘅卡一般嚟講係咁嘅樣子啦。咁如果喺香港打過去澳洲嘅話，個方法係啲咩咧？咁通常就打翻個電信供應商嘅電話號碼啦。咁即係譬如0060咁樣樣啦。咁啊澳洲國碼61區碼。咁啊，然之後再打埋個電話 number。咁呢個係打固網電話嘅方式嚟嘅。如果係手提電話嘅話咧，又係打翻電信供應商嘅電話 number 啦，再係澳洲國碼啦。咁澳洲手提電話呢，一般嚟講，你會見到前面有個零嘅。但係如果你話打長途電話或者係打手機嗰啲咧，係唔需要打個零字嘅。咁只需要入翻後邊嗰9個位就 OK 噶啦。咁如果話喺澳洲打電話翻香港又係點做咧？咁打翻0011啦。852啦，跟住打翻電話 number 就 OK 噶啦。咁無論固網電話或者係手提電話都係一樣嘅。咁澳洲嘅緊急求助電話咧，個電話號碼同香港係唔同嘅，係000。咁啊唔好打錯啦。咁啊相對上，如果真係有啲咩緊急需要嘅求助嘅話咧，就打翻000啦。咁我呢度可能 pass 翻俾我簽證部嘅同事阿 Jessica 咧，就會講解翻多少少學生簽證條例嘅一啲個案嘅。唔該晒 Jessica。
咁咧就想同大家講翻啦，啲簽證嘅資料啦，咁就係啦，咁咧呢個咧同學仔如果批嘅簽證嘅話咧，其實你哋咧係應該會收到一個簽證嘅信嘅。咁其實呢個簽證信咧就會係有你嗰個英文全名啦，亦都會有你個護照號碼同埋嗰個簽證嘅到期日嘅。咁就大家留意翻啦，你嗰個簽證嗰個信上面嗰個簽證係咪真係 cover 得到你成個課程完結啦？咁就麻煩同學仔自己 keep 翻好你嗰封簽證信，同埋同時咧當時應該係 send 咗一個簽證 account 嘅 login 俾你。麻煩同學真係 keep 翻好，咁因為咧好多時同學仔過咗2-3年之後走嚟問翻我哋咧，坦白講我哋真係未必會真係 keep 到你個 record 咁耐，咁同埋你都唔 expect 我真係會同你 keep 咁耐個 record 啦，咁所以大家同學仔自己 keep 翻好啦。咁個 account 其實除咗睇翻你個簽證之外咧，其實仲有好多用途嘅。咁其實你會見到簽證信上面咧會有一啲簽證條例啦，咁你 login 翻去你個 portal 度，其實都可以攞得翻呢封簽證信咧，同埋可以睇得翻你嗰啲簽證條例嘅。咁下一版咧，我哋會講翻呢啲簽證條例，其實 detail 係關於啲乜嘢啦。咁其實咧，第一個啦，會係關於你嘅出席率同埋個成績啦。咁其實就同學仔必須要最基本要合呢度所有科目一定要合格或以上啦。咁出席率最基本80或以上。咁如果唔夠嘅話咧，咁其實學校有機會咧唔俾你再繼續讀落去啦。如果真係唔好彩咧 fail 咗嘅話咧，咁其實咧學校咧就會需要你 retake 噶啦。咁所以你哋咧自己就要留意翻嗰個成績係咪真係搣到學校要求？咁如果真係搣唔到嘅話，就要睇一睇學校嗰度點樣安排翻你，譬如 retake 係點樣情況。咁另外就會係到埗之後啦，7日之內你要通知翻學校咧，你係個地址轉咗，或者你個新嘅地址係邊一度。因為咧，其實領事館如果真係需要揾你的話咧，咁其實佢哋咧係會揾翻學校揾你㗎。咁所以咧，你哋一定要 update 翻學校咧，你係住邊度啦。咁另外咧就係個學生保險啦，咁其實咧海外學生保險呢一個咧，學校正常咧，你哋交學費嘅時候就會幫你買咗。咁但係咧，其實我哋都知道咧，好多喺疫情期間啦，嗰啲同學仔好多都未必飛過去。咁所以其實你哋有機會咧，其實冇買到保險嘅。咁但係其實做簽證嘅時候咧，同時咧已經係同你哋講咗要買保險咧，咁你哋先批得出個簽證嘅。咁另外咧就會係做 part time 啦。咁其實做 part time 方面咧，咁同學仔咧，其實每2個星期咧係可以做唔超過40個小時嘅 part time 嘅。咁就留意翻啦，2個星期計嘅呢個係。咁其實人哋就唔會理你一個禮拜做10個鐘，定係做20個鐘咁樣。總之你2個禮拜加埋好多46個鐘咧，佢就唔理你噶啦。OK。咁就另外啦，咁就嗰個簽證啦。咁如果到期咗嘅時候，你哋咧其實需要，如果真係需要留低嘅話，要申請個新嘅簽證噶啦。咁但係當然啦，申請個乜嘢簽證要睇翻你哋逗留嘅 purpose 係乜嘢嘢。咁如果你話唔係嘅，我讀完我就翻屋企噶啦，咁翻香港噶啦，咁你哋就跟住嘅簽證到期之前要離開。另外咧都需要主動咧去 update 翻你個人資料，包括你個特別係你個護照號碼啦。若然咧你違反任何嘅簽證條例，即係譬如你overstay 啊等等呢啲嘢咧，其實咧領事館咧有權咧會要你離開澳洲啦。之後亦都有機會你再申請簽證，佢都唔俾你入翻境嘅。咁所以同學你真係要留意翻你自己簽證幾時到期，唔好 overstay，同埋要搣到所有嘅簽證條例，好唔好 OK？咁就下一版咧就講翻你哋個 portal 咧，其實係會係個乜嘢樣噶啦。咁其實咧做咗簽證嘅同學應該見過晒呢個樣噶啦。咁你哋會有個 login 啦，username 同埋 password，大家記得 keep 翻好啊，都係嗰句啦。咁入到去之後咧，你會見到有個叫 view details 嘅嘢嘅。咁你撳翻個粒掣之後咧，入咗去。咁其實咧有幾樣嘢可以做得到嘅。咁你可以咧先睇到咧你嗰個visa grant letter 啦，你可以喺呢個 application 裏邊睇到。嗱，咁留意翻，你會見到咧嗰個portal 嗰度會 show 到一個叫 finalize 嘅。finalize 呢個字即係話你嘅簽證批咗噶啦。咁你記得睇嘅時候咧，睇翻個啱嘅 application，因為可能有啲同學仔個 account 裏邊咧，可能佢曾經有做過其他簽證嘅。咁你睇翻個啱嘅 application 係你嘅 student visa 啦。咁你見到佢寫住 student 嘅。咁我哋可以去下一版睇翻我哋個 portal 下一版裏邊睇到啲乜嘢啦。咁你會見到咧圈住咗呢度 visa grant letter。咁有啲人會問我個簽證信可能好多 email 我唔見咗。其實你 log in 翻佢哋個 account 裏邊咧都可以睇得翻你個 visa grant letter。下邊亦都會有一啲 visa condition， 即係頭先我講嘅嘢噶啦。咁你記得啦，每個同學仔唔係一定一樣噶嚇。有機會領事館係 base on你嘅情況而批簽證俾你嘅時候咧，會有唔同 visa condition， 所以你哋自己睇翻清楚，自己封信上面有啲乜嘢嘅 condition 要你fulfill 翻，好冇？ 咁就可以去下一版。我哋睇翻啦，如果係更改你個護照資料，頭先提過啦。其實咧，領事館咧係個簽證係跟翻你個簽證嘅譬如你個 passport 嘅資料嘅。咁所以如果同學你哋真係有 update 咗新嘅 passport，記住要入翻去個 email account 裏邊去 update 翻你個護照資料啦。咁點樣 update 咧？咁你撳咗呢個 change of passport details 之後咧，下一版咧佢就會叫你入翻啲簽證資料，包括你個新嘅護照號碼啦，你個新嘅護照幾時到期，幾時發出。咁佢會叫你解釋翻點解你會 update 個 passport 資料嘅。咁好簡單啫，你到期咪就係到期咯。咁所以你揀翻 expire 就可以噶啦。咁啊，希望大家同學唔會去到 lost 呢個情況啦，因為久唔久咧都有同學或者家長同佢講話個學生咧唔見咗本護照。咁啊好奇怪，唔知點解去到澳洲之後呢啲嘢好似飛走晒，唔知去晒邊咁。咁所以你哋自己真係 keep 好啲所有嘅證件啦，尤其是真係護照。咁你 update 咗嗰個護照號碼啦，咁個都 attach 埋咧嗰個 passport 新嗰個樣新嗰個相嗰版嘅時候咧，領事館咧其實大概需要48至72小時咧，佢哋去 update 翻佢哋喺後面個 system 嘅資料嘅。咁如果 update 咗之後咧，其實咧你哋可以用新嘅護照咧出入境澳洲噶啦。但係當然啦，我都亦都建議同學咧，如果你真係換咗新護照嘅話，其實第一次翻出入境澳洲咧，最好你都拎埋舊嗰本護照一齊出入境，以防咧佢哋真係 system update 唔到啦，可能或者呢個部門睇到嗰個部門又睇唔到，即係大家都知道 IT 嘅嘢好難講噶嘛。咁所以咧，大家咧就最好新舊護照一齊帶。如果用新嘅護照入到境嘅話，咁即係話已經 update 咗啦。咁你之後都可以唔需要再帶你本舊 passport 周圍走噶啦，純粹放你第一次翻入去啫，好冇？咁下一步咧，入晒呢啲資料之後，佢就會叫你 attach 一個新嘅 passport copy。咁你喺呢一度 attach 翻你有相嗰一版，然之後 submit，咁其實咧就可以就 OK 噶啦。咁就你千祈唔好即係你聽日要翻過去澳洲，你唔好今日先做啊嚇，一定做唔切㗎嚇。咁所以大家真係要預留翻可能1個禮拜時間，1至2個禮拜時間俾領事館做嘢，係啦 ，OK。咁下一版咧，簽證應該就到呢度噶啦。咁下一版就會係講緊物品清單啦。咁其實同學有啲乜嘢文件，或者有啲乜嘢嘅物品要帶啦。咁其實文件頭先阿湯都講過噶啦，即係嗰啲疫苗記錄啊等等呢啲嘢，咁嗰啲唔講啦。咁啊，其實個人物品嗰度咧，其實大家留意翻，可以帶翻你自己用開嘅電腦啦，等等呢啲器具啦。咁坦白講啦，有啲嘢就真係唔需要帶過去嘅，嗰邊有得賣嘅。咁所以就真係帶電腦好啦，你唔好帶個 printer 過去。因為 printer 咧，講真一句，冇乜需要用嘅你。實質上，你話print 功課其實好少咯。而家好多都係交上去 system 或者交去，即係 through 電腦做噶啦。好少要你 print 份功課出嚟。就算係 print 學校都會有得 print。咁所以唔需要帶嘅。咁啊，另外有啲咩茶煲啊、水煲啊、咩飯煲啊、點煲都好啦。咁亦都唔需要帶過去，嗰邊都有得賣嘅。咁啊，千祈唔好嘥咗自己行李啲位，就係載呢啲東西啦。咁啊，另外啦，錢啦，咁就會建議同學都預備翻少少現金喺身先啦，因為我唔知你哋會唔會開定個銀行戶口，爹哋媽咪會過定錢過去啦。咁就算你經我哋去開咗 Common Bank account 都好啦。咁其實咧，你過到去都要 activate account，你先可以用得到裏邊啲錢嘅。咁所以自己預翻少少現金喺身，咁就可能你未必即時可以有時間去 bank 嗰度做到嘅。咁你自己都預翻1-2個禮拜嘅生活費自己用啦。匯票其實我哋都唔建議同學再用噶啦，因為如果你開咗 bank account 嘅話咧，其實爹哋媽咪咧可以用電匯呢個方式，直接喺香港電匯啲錢過去澳洲嗰邊，你都唔需要帶張匯票周圍走噶啦。咁就另外電話卡啦，咁之前都提過啦，我哋IDP 其實會有張電話卡可以飛翻俾學生用嘅。咁如果真係同學仔需要嘅話，咁你哋都可以聯絡翻你哋嘅輔導員啦，去攞翻張電話卡嘅。咁我哋都強烈建議同學仔啦，去攞定一張電話卡喺香港 activate 咗，去到埗之後咧，咁你哋可以譬如即時同爹媽咪報平安，咁就唔需要話用到香港嘅 data 等等呢啲嘢嘅。OK，咁另外眼鏡呢啲自己預備啦，好冇？因為嗰邊都比較貴嘅，咁你最好喺香港預備定過去啦。但係反而最重要係個醫療記錄同埋所需藥物。如果同學有需要長期服藥或者要食一啲好 specific 嘅藥嘅話，麻煩叫你哋嘅家庭醫生或者相熟嘅相關嘅醫生去寫定個醫療記錄。究竟你需要食啲乜嘢藥？要食幾多？點解你需要食？記得全部用英文啊，唔好去 中藥房寫張中藥單啊嚇，冇人睇得明。咁所以你哋自己留意翻。咁就呢個係入境嘅時候，其實你需要 declare 嘅。當然你普通傷風感冒藥、肚痛藥呢啲開門口藥，其實就唔需要話特別要個醫生去寫啲乜嘢。咁係反而你哋要長期食或者啲特別啲嘅藥係需要咁解嘅啫。OK，咁就另外衫褲係咪嗰啲唔講啦，自己執啦。咁其實亦都唔需要一次過帶晒一年四季嘅衫過去嘅。咁可能真係可以分批帶過去，又或者坦白講過到去買到達。咁除非你話啲好大褸啊，你需要帶過去，咁嗰啲你咪可以照執過去咯。但係其他普通 T 恤牛仔褲，我相信你哋去到邊度要 shopping，其實都可以買得到。咁啊，其他嗰啲咩字典嗰啲唔會用啦，斷估。咁啊，大家有需要其他嘢咁啊，自己執好你哋嘅個人物品啦。OK，咁就呢度就個人物品清單物品清單呢度就完㗎啦。咁下一步咧，我哋咧今日咧邀請咗我哋澳洲 onshore office 嘅同事咧嘅3位同事，同大家咧去 share 翻咧我哋澳洲嗰邊有啲乜嘢嘅 onshore 服務啦，同埋咧而家佢哋嗰邊嘅情況係點樣樣嘅。咁我哋今日咧就請到3位啦 ，Alice、Amrita 同埋 Summer 嘅。咁我哋呢個時間咧就交翻俾佢哋3位啦。Let's welcome Alice, Amrita and Summer.
Hi, thank you so much. I think we might need to share the other copy of the presentation, Emily. So with me, just for your reference with me, I have my colleague, Summer Fang, our IDP, working with IDP Melbourne team, destination coordinator, senior counselor. And then I have with me migration expert Alice Kuan, who is also working with IDP Melbourne team. So if you guys are coming to Melbourne, you are going to see Summer and Alice most likely. So they'll be helping you with your application, visa, any sort of support you need. And I'm also based in Melbourne, so you'll see me as well. We will be talking about today our IDP onshore services so that you know where we are located, who are the counselors you are going to contact. And then we will also talk about vaccination, state-wise update, travel updates, which some of my colleague will cover. We will also talk about post-study work visa, a bit about work rights to make sure you are aware about visa regulations, and that will be covered by my colleague Alice. And then lastly, we will talk about our upcoming event, Welcome Pack, which will definitely help you to settle down in Australia. So how to access that Welcome Pack, where to go. So we will cover that information today. All right, so let's start. So I already introduced our presenters today. Moving on to the next slide, Summer. We are quite excited and ready to welcome you onshore. We know that these last 2 years have been so tough, and it's time really to travel and experience what this beautiful destination has to offer to our international students, especially a great lifestyle, very safe environment. Now we know that 90% of the population is vaccinated, so we don't have to wear any sort of mask. Welcoming communities again, food, music, and most importantly, globally recognized quality education. Today, as I mentioned, we will cover, moving on to the next one, Summer, we will cover IDP onshore details, what to pack and expect, a bit about our migration part, post-study work visa, upcoming events, and lastly, our onshore IDP contact details. Moving on to the next one. Now, on the slide, you can see all our 6 offices. We are in Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Parramatta, Perth, and Sydney. And you can see the address, and in the background, that's our Sydney office reception area. So if you're going to Sydney, that's where you're going to go. That's the address. Moving on to the next one. Bit about our value-added services. Now we provide value-added services to our students, our IDP students, network students, that is you, held by offshore students. So once you arrive onshore, we make sure you're fully looked after well in terms of your visa, career, study, any sort of information, any sort of support you need. So what we really offer, quickly a snapshot of of that. Free counseling services, onshore friendly counselors will assist you with your next course search. If you need any sort of support with your current study as well, just come and speak to our onshore counselors. They do speak different range of languages to make sure connect with the student well. Then we also do frequent in-house information sessions. So again, you can come and speak to the universities directly. We do regular social engagement events to help you meet new friends, settle down well in the destination. So we have like movie nights, cherry picking. We had cherry picking actually 2 weeks back, first physical event after 2 years of lockdown. So that was fun. Then dance nights, festivals, celebrations. So many activities to make sure you connect well with other onshore students. Then we also have regular career seminar. We run CV writing workshops and also support with internships now. Internship is something we recently launched, and it is really to help onshore students to go through the internship experience while studying. So an important service, but you will be fully supported by IDP. Free student visa extension services, again, really important one. You don't need to worry about your visa. If it's expiring, you need to extend your visa, whether it's a student visa, post-study work visa, or even the migration part, you will be looked after. We also provide assistance to our high school students. We support with IELTS test preparation, help you with health insurance, advice, policy renewal. If you need any sort of accommodation support, we will be able to support you. We also provide loan support, payment solutions, and banking services. Lastly, the most important one is migration services. Nothing like that when you have your own migration agent expert guiding you with post-study work visa. So we have our MARA experts in all offices that will support you with your PSW. Now let's have a quick look on our onshore team. Moving on to the next one, these are our lovely migration experts. Alice from Team Melbourne, who has joined us today. She will talk about post-study work visa. Then we have Janet in IDP Sydney. We have Baron in IDP Brisbane. We have Shiva in IDP Adelaide. Then we move on to the next one. That's our team in Sydney. So you can see it is a big, large team because in Sydney we have 2 offices, main in CBD, and then we have another office in Parramatta. So that's the team you're going to see. That's lovely Melbourne. We actually took this picture 2 weeks back. So we are all back to office and we don't need to wear any masks. So quite excited about that. So that's our team in Melbourne, team in Brisbane. Moving on to team Tropical, team Brisbane, then Adelaide, again, 20-minute city, great community lifestyle. These are the people who are going to support you there. And then we have IDP team Perth. You're going to see these counselors, and lastly, our New Zealand team as well. Now I will hand it over to my colleague Summer, who is going to quickly cover vaccination and travel updates. And then Alice will talk about post-study work visa. Summer, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amrita. Yeah. Hello， 大家好，我係 Summer。咁咧，我係 IDP 澳洲嘅 Senior Education Counselor 啦，跟住亦都係兼埋Destination Coordinator 嘅。咁咧，因為我已經喺澳洲咧定居咗好多年㗎啦，所以咧今日咧我都好高興可以同大家分享一下啦，關於澳洲而家嘅疫苗嘅普及情況啦，同埋就係一啲相關嘅政策啊，或者係一啲澳洲嘅政府嘅隔離嘅政策咁樣樣咯。So yeah, Amrita, I just mentioned to our student that because I've been living in Australia quite a long time, so today I'm really glad to show you guys the COVID updates, vaccination updates, and what you need to prepare to come to Australia. So the first thing I would like to show is how to find the updated information, as you can see on the presentation. So because of the COVID update changed quite rapidly in a short notice, you can find the updated information on covid19.homeaffairs.gov.au. So next slide, I'm going to actually talk about the COVID like the COVID updates. So I checked the data this afternoon, and the government actually has published the data until yesterday. And as we can see on the graph, Victoria, New South Wales, ACT, and Tasmania have achieved about like 90%, above 90% of the fully vaccination rate. Followed by South Australia, Queensland, Northern Territory, and Western Australia. So the vaccination rate is still actually increasing, and it's a big relief in Australia, to be honest. And we don't need to wear the mask outside in Victoria, like Amrita mentioned before. So it's actually quite safe to live and study here. So it's just a matter of time for the higher vaccination rate. So please stay there, and it's going to happen very soon. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the vaccination updates for the student, because I know that for this section, we are mainly focused on the student who would like to actually come to Australia from Hong Kong. So let's just focus on the first column part, which is actually for the international student who would like to travel to Australia. So I have listed the TGA approved vaccination for the travelers. This includes mixed doses. So I believe the list are still growing in the future. So in order to keep yourself updated, please visit the link below. The next one I'm going to talk about is for the state travel restriction updates. I know for this section, the students mainly are looking forward to actually come back to Victoria, New South Wales and ACT. So I just particularly mentioned those information. So for Victoria and New South Wales, amazingly, and we are quite lucky to hear the information that from tomorrow, there's no isolation. So in Victoria, you still need to take the test within the first 24 hours and then between the day 5 and day 7. Whereas in New South Wales, you just need to take the test within 24 hours and day 6. So I have already put the website link for your information. So just keep you guys updated. So for the ACT, still not much change. So if you're not having been into a high risk area in the last 14 days, so you don't need to do the quarantine. So I have also listed about the high risk areas for your information. Okay, moving on to the next slide. I saw the Q&A section. There's, some of the students asking about where I can actually get the PCR test when I arrive in Victoria. So that's a very good question, actually. So I have already listed about the website over here so that you can, when you click the link, and it will lead you to different states. So you can select the state and then you can find the nearest PCR location at your place. And also, you can contact your GP, like the general practitioner or the health insurance provider, so that you can maybe ask for some advice for your further information for the PCR arrangement. So any confusion once you arrive in Australia, please feel free to contact our IDP onshore team, and then we will be here to help you as well. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is what kind of steps that you need to do before you come to Australia. Obviously, you need to prepare the passport and visa. So for the visa eligibility, you can actually check with our Mara as well, Alice. She'll be able to help you with that, or you can check with our onshore IDP Hong Kong team, offshore IDP Hong Kong team. And also you need to show the vaccination certificate and complete the ATD, which is the Australian Travel Declaration. You can complete online or through your phone as well, or your PC. And also you need to do the PCR test result, which I just mentioned online. And then you also need to verify the vaccination certificate at the airport. So the next one I'm going to talk about is just quickly touch base for the student visa work right in Australia. I know that our IDP Hong Kong colleague Jessica already mentioned about that. So just for your quick information, so you can actually work 40 hours a fortnight. But for more information, you can speak to our IDP Hong Kong team or our onshore team, because we do have our migration agents team, like Amrita mentioned before. So if you have any questions, yeah, I think that's pretty much from my end. Amrita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Summer. Let's move to Alice. Alice, over to you.
Hi, good day, everyone. This is very nice to be here to talk to you guys. I'm Alice Guan. I am the Senior Migration Agent in IDP Melbourne office. Welcome back, everyone, to Australia. What a beautiful country. My specialization to help students to gain multiple visas, even the permanent resident, if you're willing to. So I was an international student myself before. I know how hard it is. So I will try my best to help you. So today, in short, I will explain some student work right about what you're gonna facing when you arrive Australia. So you need to comply with your visa conditions. That's very important. Otherwise, you may face visa cancellations. So you need to be very focused on this part. So the student, most students came to Australia will do some sort of paid work to support their living expenses. That's allowed. So it is important to aware the specific rules that you may face and that when you're working well on a student visa, it can be very challenging, but it's important to balance your work and the study. Remember to keep your study on track so you cannot be too bad on your study record. Otherwise, you may face problem from the school as well. Remember, give you some time to enjoy the working and the living and the study time in Australia. So in short, student holding a student visa in Australia can work part-time, maximum 40 hours per fortnightly. But that's after you engage, you study. So that's the study commenced already. So if you land in Australia before your student study commencement, then you cannot work until your study starts. That's very important point. And if you already started your study like offshore online for one term already, then you can come to Australia and work directly when you arrive. So the student visa holder cannot work more than 40 hours per fortnightly. The fortnight is counting from Monday every 14 days. And so, for example, if you work 15 hours week 1, and then another 25 week 2, and another 20 week 3, then you broke the student visa conditions because 2 and 3 plus together more than 40 hours. That's how the department calculated. However, because of the response to the pandemic, if you're working in any of the following categories in Australia to help the COVID response, you are allowed to work more than 40 hours per fortnightly. And this is the sector that you can work above your student visa limit. Okay, so there's most recent update about the 485 visa. They have increased some part of the courses, how long they can get. But for Hong Kong passport holders, you will receive 5 years visa regardless which stream you're chosen or which stream you're eligible for. Even you studied a TAFE degree and you're eligible for the graduate stream, then you still get 5 years. So you don't need to worry about that part of the change. The other part may be relevant to you is that the department may remove the skills assessment requirement for the 485 graduate stream, which means if you study a certificate or diploma in Australia and meet 485 requirement, you no longer need to provide a skills assessment when you apply for 485 from next July. And the other changes is about the occupation, not occupation, it's about the 485 expired, but I think most of you attending today are not yet on that part yet. So if you have specific question about that, please contact us and so we can get it sorted. I think that's all from me.
Thank you so much, Alice. That was quite informative. Again, for any questions around work visa, if you're not sure, if you're not applying right away, just come onshore and then have a chat face-to-face, but feel free to ask any questions. Now, this particular slide is about health insurance. Again, all your main services are covered under your health insurance, so you don't have to worry. However, these are the hotlines, just in case if you need any help on arrival, you can always call on these numbers, depend upon which health insurance you have, and they will be able to help you. So moving on to the next slide, we have accommodation partners again to support you onshore. If you need any help with accommodation currently, you can get in touch with Hong Kong team and they will be able to support you. However, after arrival, if you feel like you still need help with accommodation, with properties, shared accommodation or on-campus accommodation, we have a dedicated team to support students onshore. So again, get in touch and we will be able to help you with accommodation. Then moving on to the next one. This is an important part again for all international students. We recently launched virtual international internship program for our IDP students, exclusive to IDP students. Now, undertaking an internship can help you build invaluable industry experience, develop your professional skills, and create contacts and network within a particular organization or sector, especially if you're under with IT, engineering, architecture, building, construction, health science, you name it. During your studies, if you do manage to get into some sort of internship physically or virtually, it always help you to build that connection by the time you graduate. So IDP onshore team has launched this specific virtual internship for our onshore students. So once you arrive onshore, settled in, enroll with your courses. If you feel like you would like to know more about virtual internship or would like to enroll in certain program, then get in touch with onshore team and we will be able to support you. There are two sort of internships, paid and unpaid, and internship could be 4 weeks to 6 months, depend upon how long you would like to spend on. And internships are pretty much available in all streams. So that's the good news. So you don't need to worry about that part. Again, this is something really new. We have got few applicants already applying in. Once you are onshore, to know more, just get in touch. All right, so moving on to the last bit. Now, this is some online shopping resources. So once you're onshore, if you don't want to go out for the initial 24 to 72 hours, don't worry. These are the links where you can go online and do some grocery shopping. And then everything is available within the 5-kilometer radius, whether you are in regional, non-regional, wherever you're going to stay, you will have access to at least Woolworth, Coles, LD. So again, don't need to worry about that. Moving on to the next one, Summer, we also thought to give you some pharmacy links as well, just in case if you would like to do online shopping for some vitamins or any other sort of medicine you need. Again, My Chemist, Priceline Pharmacy, they all are available within 2 to 5 kilometers of your radius, wherever you are going to go. So no need to worry over there. These are some of the links for your reference. Moving on, this is the important part, IDP welcome pack. So we have prepared an exclusive pack for you to make sure you are fully supported and settled in well. It will have grocery gift card. It will also have Priceline gift card, discounted migration vouchers, and face mask sanitizers. So please, once you arrive on shore, you will receive a phone call and email from IDP onshore team. However, you can also contact us and we will be able to send you this pack virtually. So all those gift cards are now available virtually. So again, as long as we have your updated phone number and email address, we will be able to email you this pack. So moving on to the next one, that's IDP Live app. Again, if you already have it on your phone, please don't discontinue. If you haven't, please download this app, because we will be sending a lot of information related to events, visa changes, or any sort of other support you need in terms of your application. Through this, you can straight away get in touch with us. It's an easy way. So again, please do continue with the app. Don't discontinue it. Moving on to the next one. Upcoming events. So we will be organizing summer next one, IDP Welcome Day event. Most likely it is going to happen on 19th of March. However, the link for this welcome event will be active by next week. So please make sure you do the registration for March welcome event. You will have a chance to make new friends, mingle up, catch up with IDP team members. And most likely we will go to a nice outdoor locations. It could be a cruise, it could be Great Ocean Road, some sort of tours with foods and snacks. And then obviously a chance to take beautiful photos and make new friends. So that is coming on 19th of March, mark the date. Next one, some of the photos just for your reference. So these were few of our pictures we have taken, I think 1.5 years back before lockdown. So barbecue, cultural festival, movie night. So these are some of the pictures just to give you an idea. moving on to the next one. We are available virtually. So once you arrive onshore, if you don't feel like coming to the office, you can scan these QR codes and you can just book an appointment and we will be able to help you. Then moving on to the next one. These are the contact details for your reference: Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Parramatta, Perth, and Sydney. So we are available again online. There is a link given over there, phone number, email address. You can book the counseling online. Lastly, most important part, follow us on social media. Please follow IDP Hong Kong team and IDP Australia team. We regularly update all visa regulations, any sort of announcement from government side, it all comes on our Facebook channel. Once you follow us, you will be able to have all those updates. There's another link we have given on the right side. If you can see in the orange, return to international students to Australia. Now, this link is quite important because we have prepared a special dedicated city guide for you. That city guide covers every information around the city, how to rent, where to buy a bike or car, where to eat, all that kind of info, how to travel within city, how to travel outside, what are the regional areas, what are the places where you can go. So everything is given there, and that's for all cities. You just need to go on to that link, IDP Australia website, return to international students, and you will see the city guide information. Just click on that link and you will be able to download that guide. So that's about it. And then lastly, I would like to say thank you to everyone for joining this webinar. Please stay in touch, talk, share, and we are getting into nice summer season. When you arrive in December or January, you will see all, the cities and all the main areas are decorated very well with Christmas and New Year Eve. So just come and enjoy the environment and then get into your course. And again, remember, we are here to support you. Regardless whichever city you're going, as long as you're in touch with IDP Australia, we will be able to help you with any sort of questions you have. Thank you. Over to our Hong Kong team for any questions they have.
Thank you very much.如果同學仔或者家長啦，繼續有任何其他嘅問題嘅話咧，可以喺Q&A 嗰度繼續去輸入你哋嘅問題，咁我哋會盡快去答翻你哋嘅問題啦。咁如果真係答唔切嘅，咁可能真係要聯絡翻個別嘅輔導員去攞翻一個更加詳細嘅答案啦。
Summer, I have seen one question. I'm not sure whether we have answered. Someone asked if I can spend some time in Sydney. And then move to ACT. Do we still have the requirement for quarantine there?
So for ACT at the moment, there's no quarantine if you're not traveling from the high-risk country. But I do believe that that's most likely from South Africa and Zimbabwe. So for Hong Kong students, yes, should be okay. Yeah.
Right, I can see some of the questions. I'm traveling to Sydney, transiting via Singapore. I am fully vaccinated. Am I still required to quarantine? If you're fully vaccinated, no, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So for New South Wales, no. So they will waive the condition from tomorrow, which is good.
All right. So yeah, for Melbourne and Sydney, guys, we don't have any quarantine requirement as long as you're fully vaccinated. Please don't stress, just come over. I'm departing in early January. How could I reach your team for bank account opening and SIM card? Just get in touch with Hong Kong team. They will give you our office address. Call us once you arrive onshore and we will be able to support you with both the services. Do I book my flight to Melbourne or have this made via appointed travel agent that we previously required? I think it's up to you, personal choice. Do I book my flight to Melbourne or have this made via appointed travel agent that was previously required? It's a personal choice whether you want to book it directly or through agent. But because now there is no isolation, no quarantine requirements anymore, so it doesn't matter. Once you arrive on shore, you will be able to go out without any quarantine requirements. Should students pay the PCR test in Australia? If yes, how much? Summer, do we have any knowledge on the PCR costing?
So for the PCR test, they actually change the price quite often. So I think that everyone, you just need to stick on the website that we provided. I think that we will have a recording section for that. Is that correct? Yeah, so yeah, and then you can review the recording section and then go to the website and for your information. Yeah, I do also see another question, Amrita. The student is just asking, do we need to wear a mask in Melbourne? So luckily, now wearing mask is not compulsory, so which is good outside. And then, but of course, for the other, like the gym or something like that, so it's actually still recommend you to wear the mask, but which is good because I can see that the condition now is actually relieving a lot. So which is good. Yeah.
Thank you, Summer. Can domestic student get support from IDP onshore? Not at this stage, but if you have any generic questions, we won't be able to support you with the application process because our business is around international students. But if you still have general information, feel free to contact us. I'm sure we will give you some information around your questions. Sorry, I missed some part of the meeting. Can students travel to Australia at the end of February to start school, please? Yes, definitely. So you can travel to Australia now, pretty much to all states. Couple of states, I think Western Australia has opening on 5th of February, but apart from that, rest of the states you can travel. No problems with that. That's all I can see. Hong Kong team, if there are more questions.
So for Clarence, question. So it's actually, so your question is, can international students take the booster shots in Melbourne? So it's actually not the compulsory requirement. So it's up to you as well to see whether you want to, got the booster. If you're going to work in a critical sector, or if you're from the, high risk country or area. Yeah.
Thank you, Summer. There is someone asked, please repeat again, what student need to do after they arrive Melbourne?
So once you arrive in Melbourne, now at the moment, there's no like the quarantine requirement for that. However, you still need to take the test within 24 hours and between the day 5 and 7. So if you can just review the recording section, there's a link on the presentation so that you can find out the information over there, and also with the PCR location as well.
Yeah, and I have seen a lot of students asking about if they can do the PCR test at the airport. Do you have any knowledge about that?
Yeah, for some of the cities, they do actually provide the PCR available at the airport, including New South Wales and Melbourne as well. Yeah, so and it's actually quite quick for the process. So once you get the test done, and then you can just get the result immediately as well. Yeah, so which is quite convenient.
Yep, thank you, Summer.
Someone said that is 1 month enough for visa application. I need to arrive on Sydney 6 February latest, but I'm still waiting for the COA. That should be fine. As long as you arrive in Australia and you have valid COA, get in touch and we will be able to support you. If the visa is not expired on the day, we still can lodge it, and you will be getting a bridging visa that will allow you to stay in Australia lawfully. So don't worry about that. 1 month is enough for visa extension. Okay, how can I go from University of Newcastle from Sydney Airport? Again, for Sydney, we don't have any quarantine requirement now, as Summer mentioned. So as long as you are done with your PCR test, you're out of Sydney, done your PCR test, you will be able to go to any area within Sydney. So that's fine.
I think I have seen lots of questions about the pay PCR test. So once you arrive in Australia, if you go to test it in one of the government test sites, they won't charge you, it's free. The web link is provided. You just go to the link and see which one is the closest site. So the department actually asks you, or the state government actually asks you to get tested within 24 hours. And you can go out after you receive the negative result. But in Australia, in New South Wales or ACT or Victoria, we don't have that very harsh mandatory stay at home directions. So you are allowed to go out to get tested. So don't worry. So if you arrive at late night, you don't feel you want to get tested or there is no available, you can go next morning, just walk in one of the government site to get tested. It's allowed to go out to get tested.
Thank you, Alice. Do I have airport transfer when I arrive in Sydney? Not at this stage. We don't have airport support transfer facility.
I can see there's one question. Can we book an airport pickup through IDP team or university? So yeah, so for the airport pickup, so yeah, definitely you can contact university as well, because they were going to arrange the airport pickup facilities and services for you. Amrita, for the IDP, we haven't got that yet, right?
Yeah, no, not yet.
So, yeah.
But if there are any changes in January, we will let our Hong Kong team know. But at this stage, we don't have airport support facility. Yeah.
Thanks.
Consumer visa is one semester short of the actual quite a few for visa extensions. Yeah.
Visa. Yeah. So depending on your location as well, if you are in Australia, we can, and also if you are the IDP alumni students, we definitely can help you to extend the student visa. Please contact our IDP onshore team, and then we'll be able to provide you the proper guidance as well for your information. Yeah.
Please explain a bit more about online visa registration update, online visa update. You mean online visa extension? If it's online visa extension, as long as you have a valid visa when you enter in Australia, we can apply for further visa extension that very time. It doesn't matter whether you receive a new visa or not, like how long, whatever time it takes. As long as we support you with the visa application online, you will straight away get the bridging visa, and that bridging visa will allow you to stay in Australia lawfully. If that's the question you're asking. Would it be acceptable to wear mask indoor, though it is no longer mandatory? Yeah, wearing mask is optional now. It's your preference whether you want to wear indoor or, but there's no mandatory requirement as such. In Victoria student, how to get the test between day 5 and day 7? I think we just have to test once, first on arrival within 24 hours.
Yeah, and then another one.
Day 5, yeah, day 5 and 7, because usually the report comes straight away, right? Within that day, yeah. How to get the test between day 5 and 7? You just need to go to the nearest clinic, as Alice and Summer has mentioned to you, and you will get the reports within 24 hours. When is the best time?
Rest of them for the offshore team as well, yeah? Is it right?
Where should we send the day 5, day 7? You don't need to send anywhere. Just get your test done, and it does update automatically online. And that's about it, as long as it's negative, which it will be, because yeah, you're doing that test before as well. As long as the test is okay, yeah, you can just go out. And the records are always there in your online student registration link. So you don't need to worry. You just need to get the test done. When is the best time to register for student visa online system? If you're onshore and if your visa is expiring, it's best to get in touch within 6 months of your visa expiry date, within 6 to 3 months. But in your case, if it's expiring soon, don't worry. As long as you're onshore, you still have a valid visa, we will be able to assist you.
Okay, I think it's about time for us to end this seminar. If we still have more Q&A upcoming, it's good for students or parents to contact their counselor for further details. So maybe we will choose maybe 1 or 2 Q&A to answer further, and then we will end the session. Is that great?
Someone said, can we take public transport to the PCR testing? Yes, you can. That shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
So I think there's a question about entering ACT, because student will be requiring for a 3-day quarantine in ACT. So he just want to ensure that if the quarantine requirement is still needed to enter ACT.
Yes, so I think for ACT, sorry?
I think that's a yes, right? The quarantine requirement will be still needed to enter ACT.
So actually the quarantine is actually no more quarantine for that, I think. Yeah. So but as for now, I think that we can still actually double check for you and then to see for that. Yeah. So just leave your contact details, you know, and then we can contact you by that. Yeah.
There have been recent changes with NSW and Victoria. Alice, do you have an updated information with ACT today? Any recent changes?
I think they do require for quarantine for 3 days, and the day, not exactly 3 days, so they count the day you arrive in ACT is day 0, and you can leave home on day 3, 11:59. So that's the requirement, but it's not a hardcore quarantine like some Asian countries. You can go out to get tested, that's no problem. But for any other food or you need to order. And you can quarantine at home, not necessarily in hotel.
Just
But
FYI, guys.
you need to complete a declaration form within 48 hours of arrival.
Because the information changes almost every day, we presented last Thursday and Friday, NSW and Victoria removed their self-isolation quarantine condition. So just when you are about to travel, again, recheck on the link given so that you are aware. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I think if students and parents have further any question about entering Australia to each state or territory, please kindly contact our counselor for further details. Thank you very much for joining our session today. 多謝晒各位家長同同學參與今日嘅講座啦。咁時間差唔多，咁如果有更加多其他嘅問題係關於出發前嘅準備啊，或者真係入到去澳洲之後要做啲乜嘢啊，隨時 contact 翻我哋香港 IDP 嘅同事啦，咁去了解翻多少詳情嘅。咁今日嘅講座其實都會有recording 嘅，咁一旦準備好嘅時候會send 翻俾大家。如果有需要嘅，可以聯絡翻個別嘅輔導員去了解翻所有嘅資訊。Thank you very much.